have it.
I'm sure I'll get it soon enough.
Sorry about that.
Gotta pedal a little quicker.
No, we had a bad night of stuff.
Oh.
Ready to go?
Yes.
Ready to go. Okay, call the meeting in order. Roll call, please.
General,
Here?
White,
Yes.
Wickman,
Yes.
Pierce.
Yes.
Let the record show that Stella Herder is absent today. All the members are present.
Okay, if you've had a chance to read the minutes.
I'll move to approve.
Second. Been moved to second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. I'll read my statement before we open the public hearing. Public hearings will be conducted pursuant to the Board of Rules of the Procedures as adopted May 26, 1988. We will first hear the report of the Planning Director on the detailed information and observations regarding the request, if not done so in written form prior to the meeting. Next, we will take the testimony of the applicant or his or her witnesses. Upon completion of the applicant's testimony, excuse me, I will call upon members of the audience wishing to make a statement concerning the request. Persons in favor of the request shall be heard first, followed by those opposed to it. At any time during the presentation of testimony, the members of the board may interrupt to ask questions or to make comments on what has been said. Upon completion of all testimony, the applicant will be allowed to make a closing statement to the board. Upon completion of the applicant's closing statement, we will then hear the recommendations of any of the planning director, and upon completion of all discussion, I will entertain a motion to close public hearing on the request. After the public hearing has been closed, I will entertain a motion from the members of the board regarding the disposition of the application. Each speaker addressing the board shall step forward to the podium, state their name, address, before proceeding with their testimony or evidence. I would ask that you would spell your last name. This board shall not be bound by strict rules of evidence, but does reserve the right to exclude evidence or testimony that may be deemed to be irrelevant, immaterial, incompetent, or unduly repetitious. As chairman, I will rule on all questions relating to the admissibility of evidence, which may be overruled by a majority of the board. The board may grant continuance in case of good cause shown to any interested party who has entered his appearance. The board may at any time request a continuance of the hearing for the purpose of giving further notice, taking further evidence, gathering further information, touring the proposed site, or for such other reasons as the board may find sufficient. In such case, we shall state the specific reason for the continuance and set a date, time, and place when the matter will be continued. All official action of this board will be made in a public hearing by motion made, seconded, and a polling of the membership. If conditions are imposed, such conditions shall be included in the motion or amendment thereto. Our final decision will be prepared in writing and will be part of the public record of this board. Once this board has reached a decision on a case, the decision shall be final. Section 335.18 of the Code of Iowa states, any person or persons jointly or severely aggravated by any decision of the Board of Adjustments under the provisions of Chapter 335, or any taxpayer or any officer, department, board, or bureau of the county, may present to a court a record of petition duly verified setting forth that such decision was illegal, in whole or in part specifying the grounds of illegality. Such petition shall be presented to the court within 30 days after the final decision of the board, office of the board. On completion of that, I would ask to open public hearing on case CU 2015-07. Chuck DeVetter.
So moved.
Second. Been moved and second for public hearing. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Chuck, would like to step forward and present your case?
Yes, I guess, Your Honor and Board, I don't really.
Would you give us your name and spell it for us,
I'm
please?
sorry.
Okay.
Boy, I'm not real good at
Okay, that's
instructions,
fine.
evidence.
Yeah.
My name is Chuck DeVetter, D-E-V-E-T-T-E-R, and I live at 23015 Pioneer Trail in Council Bluffs.
Thank you.
All right. And what I'm asking for today is just a variance to build a building on the land at 23015 Pioneer Trail. And I don't know, I think does everybody have a layout of the building and what's all involved? And so basically what it is it's a three-part building, all right? The first part is really where the skid loaders and the tractors and that type of thing go, or that could be the third part, I don't know. But another part of the building has to do with, really initially we'll be using it like as a, at times as a sanctuary and that type of thing for maybe some, we have a ministry called One Whole Heart Ministry that we do various get-togethers. We one is on Monday nights over in Millard, and other ones in downtown Council Bluffs on Thursday nights. We're probably not going to move those, but this is available in case, let's say we start up another night or something like that. And normally in those nights, we probably end up having anywhere from 15 to 25, 30 people is who ends up coming to those particular events. And so initially that would be our plan to use that for that type of a use. It's not a long-term plan, it's more of a short-term plan from that standpoint. Also we are involved with a ministry. We do a lot of Skype sessions to places around the country, as well as we do ministry to probably a lot of the, not only churches in Omaha, throughout Omaha. We have people come from Kansas City once in a while. We have people come from Des Moines. We have people come in from Lincoln area and just different areas of Iowa for ministry. And our ministry is all about just healing the heart. It's people that are in a situation where they have anxiety or fear or anger or depression or those type of things. And we just have, we're releasing a process that actually brings healing into the hearts is what ends up happening. And it's just awesome. It's not necessarily us. It's, God is a healer, he does the healing, but we certainly are thrilled to be involved with that. And so in that particular building, there's several different offices, several different places where we can do some of that inner healing that we're involved with. Right now, we've got really 4 people that are actually doing that process. Okay, that doesn't mean that's what we're going to end up with, because obviously we have people that we train and things like that, and so it's probably going to increase the number. But of those 4 people, right now we have 3 other locations that we're doing that type of ministry. One is in Millard at Glory Christian Center. Another one is we actually, there's a school that's connected to us, Valor Christian School in Omaha, and we do sessions there, and we're involved with that. And then the third place is we have a space down in downtown Council Bluffs that's in Bayless Park Hall, in the basement of that, and we do some of that then. So what we're asking for is to build this building, to go ahead and get a variance to build the building on the land that I live on, and it's really actually right behind where I live. So that's kind of what we're asking for.
Is that
No, that's that gentleman that walked out.
Somebody just left it there and left.
Jay Blanchard.
Okay.
Find him.
So your phone is going off. I'm sorry. I tried to shut it off.
Don't shut it off. Sorry.
So when does this 200 people, this third building where you have all the seating for people, when does that take effect?
To be honest with you, that's just the size of the building. When they went ahead and designed the building, okay, I was looking for a particular size or whatever, and so ultimately that's the size of the sanctuary. There would have to be, right now I don't know where 200 people would come from.
Okay.
It's just that's the size of the building now. And when you take an architect and the architect starts drawing it up and everything like that, then the architect thinks of it in size of number of people that would fit and things like that. Okay. Now our vision, okay, and what we're planning on sincerely is not necessarily to have gatherings of 200 people at that location. We really feel that that sometime we're hoping that God would provide the funds that we could actually build a real sanctuary, a place where we could have, you know, but, you know, right now, with the number of people involved, it isn't, I mean, there's no way we have had get-togethers out at our place where we've had people connected to our ministry. Now, those aren't people that come to, see, there's two different types of, we've got the one whole heart minister that does the healing, and then we have what we call the healing community, okay? And those are the places where we come together, okay? And those are the places that are anywhere from they've been anywhere from 15 to 25, and actually in Millard, sometimes it's a little larger, up to 30 or something like that. But when we had we had a get-together probably a couple of weeks ago, we might have had 60 or 70 people that actually came to that get-together. We had a hay rack ride, and we had a bonfire and that type of thing. And so, but as far as 200 people, I'm not saying that it couldn't grow and there couldn't be that type of thing, but our long-term vision isn't necessarily to do that in this particular building.
Then what would the building be used for if you build a sanctuary then? Any idea?
Yeah, on your plan, if you'll notice, it says like a fitness.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I don't totally have that conceptualized and what it's gonna happen, except for, I have a vision that there's a place on our land that we would just be able to offer fitness. And if, right now, of course, it would be me and maybe there'd be somebody come over once in a while or something like that. But that doesn't mean, let's say if the ministry goes or something, then we have that as an opportunity for people to be there, or it really depends on the expansion, how the expansion happens. Now, obviously, we have 27 acres. It'd be cool if there were other things involved with our particular land, but that's a different thing. That's not what we're talking about today. We're just talking about this one building.
Any other questions?
So that's the size of the existing parcel was 27 acres?
Yeah, it is, Tim.
The parcel that building's gonna be located on, there's actually 4 parcels involved.
So this has already been split?
It's just 4 parcels. There was no split or anything has taken place, but there's just already 4 parcels there. The parcel that the building and house are gonna be sat on is 10 acres. In total of the 4 parcels that he has there, he has 32 acres.
What type of building is this gonna be?
We're gonna use the same materials that we use for the house from the standpoint of it's gonna be the foam with the concrete fill is what we're planning on doing. And just probably because it just seemed to work on the house, might as well use it on the rest,
Anything else? Anything? Okay, thank you. Anyone else want to speak in favor? Does anyone want to speak opposed?
My name is Connie Peters, Peters. I live 23002 Pioneer Trail, across the road from it, just up on the hill. All we got was this piece of paper. I don't know anything about all the rest of the plans. That's why I came tonight. And I was questioning also, I couldn't hear everything you said, Chuck,
Sure,
but
it's okay.
the type of building, how big of a building, where exactly on the acreage will this be? I was questioning how many people will this, it sounds like it could, I don't know if I'm supposed to address you guys or Chuck.
Address us.
I didn't know for sure if this is gonna be, I have nothing wrong with, with, as far as, I'm not sure how to say it, as far as Christianity or spreading the word, whatever, healing, nothing against that, but I live out in the country for a reason. I don't want a bunch of traffic. That's why I live out there. To me, it kind of sounds like it could end up being a big deal if it's a 3-part building and the plans are maybe for a sanctuary for 200 people. I don't know. I didn't get that. But I've lived out there all my life and there's a reason for it. And I just, nothing personally against you, Chuck, but I just hate to see anything commercial going up out there. And how often will they meet is a concern. The traffic's a big one. I think that's all I have to say.
Here's a picture of what we got as the, proposed building site.
So to me, it looks like this is huge. I mean, as far as it's not just some little building, it's
Not shed.
yeah, not a shed, exactly. That it's a big, could become bigger, maybe in time, but I'm sorry, Chuck, I'm just opposed to traffic and that out there. Okay?
Anyone else want to speak opposed?
We could hear, I'm Joyce Leahy.
I'm Robert Leahy, Lahui, and we live at 23004 Pioneer Trail.
Okay, thank you.
We could hear very little of what he said, so we don't really have too much information, but we're really concerned about the traffic in and out and the lights of the cars coming in and out, and also I assume if they're gonna put up a building that big, it will have lighting outside and just a kind of a big distraction of our nice, quiet neighborhood, it seems like. And I guess, property value is a big thing. And I don't know, we just have lived out there for a long time. It's peace and quiet. And we just, like Connie, we kind of hate to see something like that come in that is going to make it just a lot of traffic and a lot of people.
So, Chuck, sorry, but
No,
we
you
object
see,
to
This
it.
is your opportunity to speak. Don't feel bad. That's your president.
And I don't know what, was there a spot on that property that, do we have any idea where this is going to be?
He'll address us here in just a second.
Okay.
And maybe we can-
Well, hill, that can be either right in front of our place or up by his house.
Well, he's going to talk more about it.
Okay.
We'll get that information for you.
So
See,
I guess
to
that's
the city.
driveway
It
location
does.
and type.
Tim, on
that
this,
type
on
of
this
thing.
one, on this map right here, it has a picture of it. They can certainly have this. Take a
Yeah,
look.
yeah, here,
Take a look at this. I have mine pulled out there.
we have a
We
you have a
didn't-
copy of that,
We
right?
didn't get anything in
No.
the mail. We're right across from it. We didn't get anything, so. Okay.
Yeah, here's Connie's.
Okay, so is this it right
Yeah.
here? Okay.
This is guy's?
His house sits here underneath the
Oh,
board.
okay, I'm on.
Oh, he's,
So it'll be the
So
same,
he's gonna-
same driveway.
Right to the east
You're
of it.
there,
okay,
Okay, and the same driveway and the building's gonna be,
all the way back up here.
okay.
where's the house?
This one.
It's right underneath the
Right.
wording here. You can barely see the roof
Yeah.
line of it
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, and so the building's gonna be back here.
behind his house.
okay,
yes.
Okay.
all right.
Okay.
Well,
Tim, give him an extra pen over there.
I guess,
Just anybody have questions?
Thanks.
That's mainly what I was wondering is where, and that's answers that.
okay.
Is that a good location for you folks?
Well, it'd certainly be better than right across
Okay,
from
that's
us,
what I want.
road from us,
I mean, that
yeah.
would be,
It would be better than that, but
Right.
it's still,
right, I understand, I still have the other
the
thing.
driveway is right across from our driveway, so that part is not great. It comes out the,
You live right here then, is this where you're at?
yes.
Okay, that'd be yours.
Well, no, right here. is the
Okay, right
house.
there, okay.
So here's our driveway.
That'd be
Okay,
opposite side.
so cars come out this driveway, and it's no problem now with them, you know, they're not
Sure,
in and out that
sure.
much at night, but with that many people coming out, if it's nighttime things, and in the wintertime, if it's very late, it can be night. But
Okay,
cars come
yeah.
up this driveway and the lights shine right into our house, just,
Yeah, and
Right,
this,
you're
this is
right
a hill coming off there.
Okay, that's a hill. Okay, okay. Thank you. Okay, anyone else want to speak opposed? Okay, would you like to come up and address some of the questions that's been raised? You have a final set review? Yep.
I guess first I want to just thank you guys for just coming out, and I know that it's a concern. I know you have houses involved and things like that, and so I'm not trying to bring harm or anything to that. And so I understand why you're here, and there's, you know, and I honor it. I honor it. And I think that going back to the questions, you know, I wish I could say the future that there'd never be more people, and I don't wish I could say that. Okay, I don't want than what we have right now. We've got the different locations, and so I just don't know the scope. You know, I don't know. I don't really know, and that's sincerely on the top of my heart. If it's going to be utilized for lot more people than what we have right now, and so obviously it's built bigger. All right. In case that happens, but it isn't the long range plan, okay? And ultimately what happens is that the way we've positioned it, in that if you ever were out at the location of our house you're gonna see, and you can see probably by the trees and everything, that our house is really, you know, especially with the leaves, you know what I mean? You just can't see it. I mean, it's back and it's nestled in there. You know, there's about a 1,200 square foot drive to get back to that place, and this is going to be way behind that, okay? And over to the side, so it's on the very corner of the land. And so from the standpoint of visibility and things like that, I'm not sure, even in the fall with the leaves all gone, I'm not sure if you could, it'd be really tough to see it. Now, you could probably see it from a high aerial type location or something like that, but I'm not sure where that is because we're pretty high, okay? And so I'm not sure that you could see it, you know, and I recognize the concern on the traffic and that type of thing if we would have a get-together gathering. And I don't know, like 2 weeks ago, we had the 70 people out there we were talking about, and so we did have people up and down, you know, there's different places in the drive that were parked in the drive or whatever because we don't have, you know, our drive is just it's a thinner type drive or whatever, so we did have people there. I'm not sure that the people that were out there obstructed anything. I'm not sure even, and I don't know if anybody noticed a couple weeks ago that we had a gathering or whatever. I'm not really sure if that happened. You can ask everybody, but that was like maybe 70 people, you know, and then there's lots of kids and things like that. So, you know, it's just maybe more than that, you know. But I'm just thinking probably, and I recognize that the concern is that you don't want to, a person doesn't want to be in the place where someone's coming down at night with the driveway and the lights are shining in your house and things, and you're trying to sleep. And so I recognize that's a concern. And I mean, I don't know, because I've never been in that place where, you know, where you're living, so I don't understand that. And so I don't know necessarily if I come down and I drive down, I'm driving down at night, if I'm waking you up or not, or that type of thing.
one
No, you
town
have
is
the podium to
is
speak.
no-
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm breaking protocol, sorry about that, you know. But anyhow, and I'm supposed to speak to you guys, I know, I'm sorry about that. They're just my neighbors, so I wanna, you know, speak. But anyhow, so I'm just not sure, even if for some, you know, some reason we weren't able and we didn't have the monies and it grew and all of a sudden we're having it as a sanctuary with more people, okay, all right, before it turns into I'm just not sure it's gonna be, number one, we just don't, our ministry is all about healing the heart. And so the focus and the primary thing that happens in our ministry is one-on-one healing sessions, okay? So that's the foundation.
But if that's the case, why do we need this size of a building?
Well, and so what I'm trying to talk into that, okay? So that's the primary focus, and so most of the time in our ministry, that's the type of things that are going on, okay? Now, there's outreach, we do some outreach from the standpoint of minister to people in the park and different things
Sure.
like that, so we do that kind of stuff, but that's out of the fact that as people's hearts get healed, there's just a place of healing where we fall deeper in love with Jesus, and in that, all of a sudden, we start releasing our excitement is what happens sometimes, that connection, but from the standpoint of why is the other needed is because we do have the healing communities, okay? All right? And the healing communities are basically the ones I was talking about. You got the one that meets on Thursday nights that's matter of fact, it's meeting tonight. Come on over if you want. But it's in the basement of Bayless Park Hall, okay? And there's normally somewhere between 15 and 25 people there is normally maybe. I don't think we've had 30, but maybe we have. I don't know.
But
And
you said you weren't gonna change that one.
no, and so we're keeping that one there, but that's a vision of if all of a sudden we have a healing community out there, okay, then it would look something like that. I mean, and so I don't have anything, I'm not planning specifically anything, but a lot of times what's happened with me is it's almost like I get a word and I get a vision that I'm supposed to walk in, and then I start moving towards it, and then I see how it unfolds, because it's not something that I know the answers ahead of time. It's almost like, and this sounds goofy, but it's a faith thing where you just walk out and say, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do, and then I start walking towards that, okay? All right, so from the standpoint of it's not like all of a sudden it's going to be this church building where everybody's there every day of the week and there's 200 people filling a sanctuary. That's nothing like what we envisioned. It has more to do with maybe a healing community out there potentially. And I'm not saying that there wouldn't be more than one day a week or anything like that, but I'm just not seeing the same thing like a church and all the activity every day of the week of a church.
What about the road? It's a rock road. Was that causing any dust problems when you had many people out there?
As far as my road itself?
Yeah.
And are you thinking for me or for someone else?
Having that many people, did that create a lot of dust
For me?
along the road?
I guess I don't think so. I mean, I never really noticed a dust problem or anything like that. We do, because we live on the hill, when we have our windows open all the time, and we have to dust probably more than the next person, you know what I mean? So I know that. But as far as them coming out and seeing all kinds of dust, because people just can't come at different times and things like that. So it may be more than I notice, but to be honest with you, I don't notice things, that too much, like that type of thing. If it's there, I probably didn't notice it.
Is the drive, it looks like quite a long driveway going into it. Is that the closest way you can do it, or I don't know.
There's only one drive. And so that's there's no other place, I don't know that, I mean, that's the closest drive and the only drive we have there.
But it couldn't ever be shortened any.
The only way it'd be shortened is if the building was down closer to the road.
And it's only one lane.
Well, there's parts that are wider that you can actually get through, but I mean, it's like move over and let the one, kind of, it's not designed for two-way traffic.
It seems to maybe might be kind of unsafe not to be able to have traffic in and traffic out, or does that?
Well, because you can kind of move to the side and some spots are wider, it seems to work for us, you know what I mean? Maybe we have to widen it at some time, I don't know, but it doesn't seem like it's been a problem ever, because you do have some wider places where you can kind of go by each other, okay? And then you also have places where you can, because it's more even with the road, you can just kind of pull over a bit off the road a bit too, so.
What's your plan of construction for that? I mean, do you have a plan on building next year?
Well, and so here's the bottom line is I'm not totally certain with that, because we're just in the process, we need to raise funds for it and everything, and it needs to be funded, all right? And so we aren't in the place where it's even funded right now. And we're in a place where we're moving towards that, okay, all right. But, at the same time, what happens, and I've got an idea of where some of the funds can come from, okay? But at the same time, to say that we're gonna start building tomorrow, I can't totally say that, you know?
Okay, that's okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Matt, do you have some
I do.
insight on it for us?
My recommendation is to approve the application subject to the following conditions. Number one, that the applicant shall obtain the necessary commercial building permits to construct the building in accordance with Pottawattamie County building codes. Number two, the well servicing the property be approved by the Department of Natural Resources as a public water well. Number three, the septic system to be installed to code and size to handle present and future capacity.
Now, what would that be? Would that be 250
That would be
people?
200 people.
Okay.
We'd have to go with the size of the building, not with what
Right.
they're determining.
Okay.
Number four would be the parking lot shall be constructed in accordance with Pottawattamie County codes for a maximum occupancy of 200 people, which equals out to 34 parking stalls. Be gravelled or similar all-weather surfacing in addition to providing the necessary ADA hard surface parking spaces. Based on the following findings of fact, the subject property is located in the Class A4 Los Hills District. The zoning ordinance adopted in conjunction with the land use plan stipulates that churches and other places of worship, including parish houses and Sunday school buildings, is a permitted conditional use in the A4 district. The subject property is located in an area which is a mixture of residential and agricultural. A place of worship is seen in the rural settings. The place of worship will consist of 4 staff on a daily basis and up to 30 people attending gatherings up to 3 nights a week. No on-street parking is permitted with this land use, nor is any proposed by the applicant. The place of worship has proposed parking lot with approximately, that should be 34 stalls for vehicles. The existing county road system is adequate to accommodate the additional vehicles being added to the traffic count. The owner of the property resides at this location and is the owner-operator of the place of worship.
Okay, thank you. On hearing that, I would ask for a motion to close public hearing.
So moved.
Been moving,
Second.
been moving second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Discussion amongst the board. What do you think?
I'm still concerned about the road. The road's very narrow, gravel. For one family, fine, 2 families, fine. You get 200 people on a road like that and you have an accident or you need emergency equipment up there, or there'd be no way. I think, could we put a stipulation on that the road is fine the way it is? If it ever increases to the point that they're having more people, they have to make the road hard sealed. And, I mean, for a subdivision where you've got more than one house, you have to have 60-foot gutters and culverts and everything else. It seems to me if you're gonna have, although he doesn't plan on it, but as 200 people up there, you need a better road than what they've got going up there.
I think what you've gotta do, though, I think you've gotta make the stipulations for 200 people, because that's, if you're only gonna have 25 people, then we don't need a building like this. So, I mean, I agree that you have to plan on 200 people.
Right.
I mean,
And that's what the, county planning office did when they designed the water service and the design for the septic. is
Right.
that They have to base that on that amount of people.
right, you can't base on 25.
Correct.
It is a pretty large building, what, say 123 by 55? That's a good sized building.
Well, it's gonna house equipment too, it's not
Yeah.
just,
I mean, there's only one way in and one way out, which, can't help that. But I just know that I used to go up to Spencer's Mountain in the wintertime on that road. And if it was icy at all, or if you met anybody, I mean, it's kind of dangerous to go up there when there's only one exit in, when you have so many people living up there. So that would be my concern, is the road.
If if I'm not mistaken, I think we could make that part of our motion, that the, road be designed to carry the width for 2 vehicles.
How is that handled in other places, Matt, as far as, I mean, if you have something that's gonna hold 200 people, you probably can't just have one lane in and out, can you?
No,
Did the engineer sign off on it?
no, this is his private drive going up
So
into,
will it be a private
But it won't
drive
be a
with
private
the
drive, it'd be
church?
no, it would wind up falling under the commercial guidelines for what the access needed to be. Emergency response would be a big concern,
Right.
being
So
able to get the vehicles up
Would that
in
be
there.
addressed at another spot along the process?
I can't say that I know it will be.
I mean,
Right now.
I can see if, if 15 people are coming, that's one thing. But if you're going to have twice a week, once a week, 200 people coming up there, I think that's a whole different scenario than what,
Or even 70.
even 70, yeah,
That's right.
yeah. And it's not like you can go through the pasture to get out to the road. I mean, we're talking lots of hills and dales and curves and,
There's an awful lot of unknowns, and I know it doesn't know the answer, but it makes it difficult to rule.
What's the length of time provided for a conditional use permit, the building, 1 year?
1 year.
If it wasn't built in 1 year, the conditional use permit
We could come back to you
would be revoked.
and ask that it be revoked if it had not begun in 1 year.
So it'd make more sense to wait till he had the funds and know what he came in with and what he had, and how much. I mean, I can look at building this building, but if I go out and try to raise funds and I come up with half that size of building, maybe I buy a half a side, but then that won't work for this building, right?
Mhm.
I mean, if we pass something tonight, it is for this building.
It's
That size.
8,000 square foot.
Right, right.
I would, I don't know, I would guess that if they wanted to come back and say, I want to build a 6,000 square foot, our conditional use permit would still apply for that, wouldn't it?
It'd be for the use of the building.
Yeah.
Okay, so it wouldn't be the size, it'd be the
That
use.
would be the use. You know, the ordinance that we currently have in the code allows for this. We, I don't know.
Well, it does, but most of the churches you see out in the county are on a hard surface road, next to the hard surface road, or, don't see 200 people either, most of them probably, I don't know.
Well, if that isn't gonna get addressed somewhere else along the process, I think you're right on the road as far as, if you have a gathering, you've gotta figure 200 people. If somebody has a heart attack up there.
Right, that's what I'm thinking.
You've gotta be able to get an ambulance up there
Some
and,
kid falls into the fire or whatever, I mean,
Yeah,
there's
I
all kinds
mean-
of things that can happen when you got 200 people.
so I mean, I think that's an issue, and I don't know if that'll get addressed somewhere along the line, or whether we need to address that.
In our commercial code, do we allow for gravel parking lots?
In our chapter 8 in the zoning regulation has a whole section on the parking lots.
In commercial? This
Yes,
would be a
it
commercial
yeah,
building.
it would be for that, it would deal with that.
We do allow gravel parking
Has
lots
to
in.
be all-weather parking.
All weather.
The ADA portion of it has to be it has
Be
to be
hard.
paved or asphalted.
So if they address that, won't that commercial part address the road getting to it?
Not necessarily.
I mean, that's in your zone, that's chapter 8 in the zoning portion of it.
Just to collate that back to maybe your subdivision ordinance, when you have a one-way road in, the maximum length on that is, I believe, 900 feet. If it's a one-way,
And what is this?
this is,
A long ways. a lot more than 900.
I believe the applicant had, spoke to it being approximately 1,200 feet, but
But the other thing is, if you do that, then you're gonna move it, they'll move it closer to the road, and that isn't what's best for the neighborhood either, so.
I don't know if they can. Topography is pretty hilly.
what might be,
You wanna go out and look at it, they're not gonna build it next week.
is we can do some exploration on that.
I can get some
I mean, it
questions
seems like
answered.
one thing was the house
Yeah,
and
access.
having your friends over for the evening is one
Right,
thing.
yeah.
But then when you start talking about a church, and that kind of puts it in a different light than just a place for your friends, your
Absolutely.
close friends to gather, and, I just think we kind of have to look out for that.
So
I'd be
sure,
willing to go look at it.
I personally don't care for it at all. I mean, I just don't think that we should be doing this. However, our code allows it, so,
It looks to me like it's gonna be such a large amount of money to raise in a year, if this is good for a year, that it wouldn't be possible for them to get the money even. The building this size is gonna be extremely expensive.
I mean, I don't know that. I'd be comfortable, going to look at it. I'd be comfortable with the motion to,
Table it.
to approve it with the road being able to handle vehicle traffic in both directions. I'm
You're just
open.
flexible, aren't you?
I'm gonna do whatever,
Norway, huh?
well, I'm not a yes
I know that.
person, but I'm comfortable.
Matt,
doing it.
looks like you.
I would like just to recommend, if you would like to go tour it, that would give me an opportunity to research the issues that you have
We were
brought up
talking about.
in regards to the drive,
Right.
width of it,
And
emergency
it's not
access.
gonna be built next week, so.
And then
Yeah, that's right.
I could come back to you and give you the answers that, when would it be addressed, how would it be addressed? And I would feel better about that.
Well, I
for
would,
you.
and that's not saying we're not gonna pass it, but that would give us some answers to some questions that have been brought up by
Mhm.
people.
That's good. Do you make a motion?
That would be great.
Are we tabling, is that what we call it?
Continuing.
We are going to continue it till after a site visit before the next meeting.
But, we're not continuing the public hearing, we're just continuing.
No,
this.
we're out of public hearing. We're just gonna go tour the site, and then we'll come back and the way this works is that, we will tour the site either before the meeting or individually, maybe before the meeting. But when we come back to the room here, then it is all, there's no more public hearing, there's no more discussion. We'll just make a ruling on it and go from there. So that's the way that works. So do we have
You got a motion?
Yeah, I made a motion. I'm just thinking of the day before Thanksgiving.
We are in Kozo that week on the 19th. It would actually be the 12th, if that would work out for everyone.
12th of November.
Yes. Because we're gone at a conference on the 19th, and then Thanksgiving would be the next week, right?
So we are not set up for a meeting next month anyway then, right?
As of right now, we're not, no.
It doesn't sound as though
That's what I said. Do we just,
it's not gonna be a rush. Whatever the board's comfortable with, I'm okay.
Should we ask him what?
yeah, I don't, and I know we're off the record, but if we postpone it to December, would that be
No,
or are you in
I mean, I don't, whatever you guys decide is fine with me. The only thing that the reason that the variance comes first is because why raise funds for a
if you don't,
building?
yeah, I understand.
Why even pools resources if there's any difficulty?
Let's try November
Okay.
12th. See if it works.
It would be, are you gonna try November 12th?
Yeah.
And see if that works? Okay.
Is that your?
Tour time.
We'll need to go early because daylight savings time comes into effect in first November, right? Oh,
Yeah,
you
it
can't
does.
get here any earlier.
No,
It'll be dark.
It'll be dark.
When a meeting decided, 5 o'clock or 4:30?
Can you get here by then?
no, but I might tour it before.
Oh, okay.
I might.
4:30?
4:30? Okay. on
Okay, is
November
that your
12th.
motion, 4:30
Yes,
on
it
the
is.
12th? We'll
Yes, it is,
continue
sir.
it.
I'll second that.
Second, moved and second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. We
Tim,
will-
can I ask one more question before we move to the next one? What is the biggest difference between a public water well and a private water well?
As far as construction standards,
That's correct.
or when's the threshold?
Well, both, the threshold and obviously.
The threshold is more than 15 people for 30 days out of the year. And then the construction standards are the amount of grouting. They're held to a higher construction standard than a private water well is. The holes drilled wider, more grouts installed.
So it's just primarily a much bigger well casing, the whole design
It's
is.
supposed to be a better constructed well for less risk of contamination to sicken numerous people that would be using it rather than just one family.
Plus testing.
Plus testing, and then they have to have an operator that,
Okay.
Thank you.
There's no responsibility to the county for that?
No.
All right, thank you.
Okay, I'd ask for a motion to open a public hearing on case CU 2015-08. Tim Good.
Second.
Then moved and second, all in favor, say aye for public hearing.
Aye.
Motion carried. Tim,
Yes,
it's yours, give us your name and let her go.
my name Tim Good, G-O-O-D, and got a place out here in Mr. Spring Road, 19, address is 1955-8. And out there, I just got the place about 2 years ago. Well, I'm born and raised out there. My mom and grandma was living out there, and they passed away, and I got it. And it was an eyesore when I went into it and cleaned it all up, and we're gonna put a modular home up out there on Barley Hill. I'm 108 feet from the center road to the bank. I'm 108 feet right there. And I gotta dig that bank out a little bit, put a modular home fit in there. I gotta dig it out about 25 feet back. Then the driveway was on the other end, going up top the hill. And that was too dangerous to go out, because when you come out that driveway, it's right there on the blind side, the corner, and people can't see you coming out. Well, I closed that off. And I made my other driveway. I got 2 outlets right there. The first one you go out there, I made my driveway right there, go up on top. Then I'm gonna clean all that up on top, smooth it all out. I'm gonna put a modular home down there. Then most of it on top of that hill, it'd be a playground for the kids. Cause I'm raising 3 kids, adopt 3 kids, my grandkids, and
Is there a plan? It is? How'd I miss that? I am sorry, I apologize, got it.
we want salt building, we want to put the modular home in probably next summer. And right now, when you go drive by there, it's not a eyesore no more. And a lot of people, when they drive by, they look at it, it's an eyesore. Right then, when I got done cleaning it up, and now it's not an eyesore.
Good, good. Any other questions?
And
Good.
he knows it, it was an eyesore, and it was bad for a long time.
Thank you. Anyone else want to speak in favor? Anyone want to speak opposed?
Barbara Schlott, SCHLOTT, and I live at 19414 Minster Springs Road. And I want to know why this is the first time I've ever gotten a notice about this property. It's 1.7 acres, and I own the land on both sides of it. And so far, they have dug out 2-story section of land, and my fence is going out over mid-air because they've dug into my property line. And it isn't an eyesore, that's true, and I appreciate that because it was a junkyard, so to speak. It had cars stacked up to the top of that hill where my fence was supposed to be. But my problem is I have signed a contract with the government to restore my acres to natural oak savanna. I've already started the process and hired someone to come in and eliminate invasive species. And when I look at this property, there is not one blade of grass on it anywhere. And this is the Les Hills dirt, and it's been decimated, this piece of property. And it does go onto my property line on this side down by the driveway also. And I had it all surveyed and fenced off except for this one section where he put that road in for his driveway. And my survey stakes are laying on the ground and there are tires and other junk dumped on my property. And my concern is, what is it going to be like in the future if it's this bad now? And I'm against it because I really think the road needs to improve. And I don't know, I don't see a mobile home going in there as an improvement. And that's just my opinion because I'm trying to make it more beautiful. And that's not, I don't think that will happen. But maybe, I don't know. I'm just concerned about my property value too. So,
Yeah, as far as him getting on your property, that's something that we can't, that's something you'll have to get an attorney or something, and that's out of our jurisdiction if he's on your property. We just have to rule on the erosion
okay.
possibility.
But it's really awful. It's just Les Hills dirt, and I don't know what happens if it rains. It must be just a mud puddle, but that's just my opinion.
Okay.
So,
Okay, thank you. Anyone else want to speak opposed? Okay, you got a chance to closing comment?
I know exactly what she's talking about. The driveway is on my side, but her poles, the sick, when they mark it all off, when they start breaking off, but I put metal poles up and down in the ground where that sick is at. And it does got a little bit of stuff on the side there, on the other side. We're not done yet. We're gonna clean all that spot on that side, all the way up, on both sides, the fence line. Then, and I talked to her a while back, what kind of fence you want to be put up.
Yeah, that issue, you'll have to, we're just
Okay.
ruling on
All right.
the part.
Yeah,
That
I'm not
part of
done.
stuff's out
I
of
know
our
what you're talking about,
jurisdiction.
that all dirt.
Okay.
That place is just all dirt. And we're not done yet. We're gonna grass seed everything. And,
Okay.
and make a driveway I put in, that's gonna be blacktop.
Okay.
It's gonna look good.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and make my side look good and her side.
Okay.
I know that's what she's talking about.
Okay, okay. Matt, do you have information for us?
My recommendation is to approve the application, subject to the following conditions. That the applicant shall fully execute the erosion control plan upon starting construction of the said improvements. Based on the following findings of fact. The subject property is located in the Class R2 Urban Transitional District. The zoning ordinance adopted in conjunction with the land use plan stipulates that grading and excavating when development exceeds 5,000 square feet on a site containing 14 to 30% slopes and/or when development exceeds 1,000 square feet on a site containing 30 to 50% slopes when not associated with a major or minor subdivision plat. Subject to the following conditions, to the provisions of section 8.004.210 is a permitted conditional use in the R2 district. The implementation of the erosion control plan will minimize soil erosion issues. The only time the road system may be impacted by the activity of the conditional use permit during the development of the site. The development of the site is for a single-family dwelling, should not have any negative impact on the existing road. The intent of the erosion control plan is to minimize the negative impacts on adjacent and area properties.
I'd ask for a motion to close public hearing.
So moved.
Been moved and seconded to close public hearing. Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Okay, so I assume that this environmental health inspector, that's the plan that they would need, they have to follow.
Yes,
Where is it?
it's,
I mean, we do, NRCS doesn't have a,
Well, they don't go with NRCS, they, do they?
your staff report here.
what?
It lists that.
Nobody,
Talks
no
about
employees to do it,
all that he's
What?
doing,
no employees
and then
to do it.
That wasn't designed, that was designed by,
this actually was the last one that the NRCS helped out with. They didn't run it through to approval, but they helped Tim design this plan.
Okay.
I had to have, they wouldn't run it all the way through their approval process after helping them go through it and that's when we had the discussion. And I had Maria Seek from our office review the erosion control plan and say, is this gonna work or not?
okay, is that an erosion control plan?
The pictures that we had here that was the day after we had the 8-inch rain. I had another violator who went around and took pictures of everybody else's sites. And with the erosion, with the rain that we had that day here in Council Bluffs,
Is that the big one?
Yeah, I'm not sure that there was much anybody could do.
And that site had those issues
And,
before.
yeah, it was
just
They have to follow the plan.
a dirt,
they do.
it was dirt.
Okay.
And I can check up on it now and
Okay.
make
But I mean, they
sure.
have to follow it, so that should alleviate concerns.
Mhm.
If they don't, it's revoked.
Okay.
Okay, I entertain a motion or more discussion.
Make a motion, we approve the conditional use permit to allow him to, disturb an area of 500 square feet. Stipulating that he follows the erosion control plan as established.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and second, roll call vote, please, Matt.
Jenner,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Wickman,
Yes.
Pierce.
Yes. Okay, it's been approved. Okay, ask for a motion to open public hearing on case CU 2015-09 Verizon Wireless.
So,
Second.
Moved and second, all in favor, say aye.
aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Verizon Wireless. We know you get reception, it went off earlier.
It was a timer that I thought I'd shut it off because I put on airplane mode.
So the timer went off, are we done? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Anyway, I'm Sam Mandolfo, Mandolfo, 6802 South 81st Street over in Ralston. I'm here on behalf of Verizon Wireless. They're in the process of upgrading and adding additional capacity to the network. And they particularly need a cell tower over near the church where we've made an application for. I'm sure, well, you may or may not be aware, but the last numbers I'd seen, about 34% of the population doesn't have a home phone anymore. So cell phones are becoming emergency telephones for about, roughly a third of the population. As part of that process, the FCC now requires that they have standby generators because they found back east when they had the hurricanes and stuff that a lot of the cell sites went out of service because they didn't have power to them. But now they're requiring standby generators on all the sites, and this is one of the newer ones. They're putting them into all of their newer ones. So this would be, in case of an emergency, it would be able to still provide service. And again, like I say, because of the a need for emergency services, this is one thing that they're looking at. And again, primarily, it's a capacity issue because of the fact that everybody likes to be able to look at YouTube videos on their, we were talking about YouTube earlier, you want to look at YouTube videos on their cell phones, and those data streams require additional capacity, and that's a part of the problem, as well as improving service. I talked to a gentleman, he said he lives 1.5 miles away from the site, and he said, "You're gonna put one over there?" He was tickled. But again, that's part of the process as far as improving service as well as providing additional capacity, and so that's why we're here today.
Any questions?
Yeah, did you look at the cell tower that's currently on the Iowa Western Community College campus?
Too far away.
Too far away? How far is too far away?
Typically, when we're giving a site to look at, it's usually anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2 mile in a radius, so about maybe a 1/2 mile to 1 mile across. They give you a spot on a map and say, put me within a 1/4 or 1/2 mile of that spot.
With the height of an existing tower, if you could get up higher, would that take care of the distance?
They've got capacity in that area already, so again, the RF engineer wasn't able to make it, but they're looking at it. This is a fairly expensive proposition. They're looking at $300,000 or $400,000. It's not something that if they could put up an additional antennas on an existing site, they can do that for $100,000, $150,000. I mean, there's a substantial savings in terms of cost. So by the time you get your equipment and everything in there, they would certainly. And I know for a fact because they're locating on an existing tower in Bellevue that we put up last year. And they're also going on an existing tower at 180th and Pacific. So where the existing facilities are there, they're more than willing to co-locate or go on existing sites. But again, it just didn't work in this particular area.
Anything else? Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else want to speak in favor? Anyone want to speak opposed? If no one has entered their plea, well, Matt, what do you have to say?
Our recommendation is to approve the application based on the following findings of fact. The subject property is located in the R2 Urban Transitional District. The county zoning ordinance, which is adopted in conjunction with the land use plan, stipulates that the proposed land use is a permitted conditional use in the R2 district. The land use recognizes the need for adequate utilities to accommodate existing and future development. The subject property is suitable for the placement of a commercial telecommunications tower and will not create a detrimental effect on adjacent properties. The subject property consists of 27.75 acres, and the placement of a commercial telecommunications tower is not foreseen to have any negative impact on area properties. The only time the proposed commercial telecommunications tower will have any utilization of the Highway 92 road system is primarily during its initial construction. Traffic to the substation will be minimal after construction. The existing road system is adequate to accommodate the delivery, and no negative impact should be encountered. The proposed tower will meet the criteria set forth by the zoning ordinance.
Okay, thank you. On hearing that, I'd ask for a motion to close public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Discussion or motion?
Do you suppose I should down my plan that cell phones are just a passing fad? You have to keep them.
I think so, maybe. Not sure, though. I suppose we could get a new cell phone if we get a smartphone. Okay,
I'll make a motion, we approve the
is there a second?
conditional use permit
Oh,
according to the recommendations of the staff.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call vote.
Genera,
Yes.
White,
Yes,
Wickman, Pierce.
Yes.
you've been granted your conditional use. Is
Thank
there any
you very
other business for the,
Yes, I have a question or two. On the, when we
somebody puts in an application for a conditional use permit, similar, like that, worship center. We notify everybody within, what, 500 feet?
500 feet.
500 feet from where?
The boundaries of the property.
So from the entrance of their driveway, anybody within 500?
Just the property lines.
Yeah, we're in the
There's
27
established
acres
property
over
lines, and we do a 500-foot buffer around.
there. What do they get then? Just a notice that they've applied for something?
Yeah,
They don't get,
it just says,
But this says that they can contact us for more information.
yeah,
so if they're interested, they can.
Yeah, if they were, and
it just describes what they're doing, like US Cellular,
Right.
conditional use for a cellular tower.
Like I say, they could come
Yeah,
and call.
and we're,
So we're really not obligated to provide them any more information than that?
in their notice that we send them.
Yes.
No.
Wow, that's really not much. You know, I don't know. When that one gal came to the podium and she said she didn't receive anything and she lives right across the street, I thought,
that was, we did just look at the map and GIS had just recently retooled their site and there was something going on with them pulling up being able to pull up the address labels like normally get pulled up. And so there was some people that were actually behind that had gotten noticed, but for some reason, that property, that I'm not sure what happened.
oh, so she didn't get one?
No, they were not on the list to get noticed.
But did you look at the map of
Yeah.
who got notified?
Mm-hmm.
Did we do the buffer around just that,
Just that parcel.
just the parcel?
Just a 10-acre parcel, but when you look at it across the road, there was other people that got notified, but that one house
Oh,
did not.
weird.
And so I think the retooling of the GIS pulling up the addresses.
Okay,
Was it also in the paper though, isn't it?
It is.
yes.
I mean, if anybody reads those things.
Or probably on their smartphone if you pull it up.
Well, if they wanna put a building in the backside of a 32-acre parcel,
Then nobody else would get notified except the cows
right,
and the coyotes.
I think we should be able to, I think we should, we're just talking, I think we should pick up from the entrance to that property from a county or state road.
It's becoming, we have had just a few instances of people questioning the notices and why we're not sending them out further and things like that. And it's gonna have to be something that we do look at because I think that the Board of Supervisors is kind of wanting us to review that a little bit of exactly what we do.
Maybe increase the
To
buffer.
increase to 5 feet or something, which would make sense to me.
It's not from the outside of their whole property line then? It's just
Yes,
from-
it is.
It is.
No,
Oh, it is?
no, this one wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
It was from the 10-acre parcel.
That parcel, but it's a separate parcel, and that's the parcel that the building was going on.
Yeah. We could have used all their parcels.
Which,
Well,
And
but that 10-acre parcel doesn't have access to,
The road, to the
Well,
hard covered road.
I understand your point, what
Okay.
you're getting at.
but that's
And
not
the
how
thing
it
is, the more
reads.
people that know what's going on, the less confrontation you're gonna have when they get here, and they're gonna have time to maybe talk to
You
their
think so?
neighbor. I take all the fun out of it, right?
You're optimistic.
No, but if they can talk to their neighbor, sometimes they can iron those things out before they ever.
Yeah, and this neighbor says, do you hear what they're doing? And, yeah.
But just like the cell tower,
Grand Avenue,
on Grand,
not
Old
Grand,
Lincoln Highway.
Old Lincoln Highway, yeah.
But because that parcel is smaller and a more heavily populated area, 500 feet radius around that
Was big,
encompassed a bunch of
right,
people.
right.
And
Right.
they did get together.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with rural properties that are larger
Yeah.
chunks, the 500 feet,
So you have no discretion when you're sending it out. I
it's
mean,
500 feet,
Yeah, you
period.
can't look at that and say, oh, there's nobody there, let's go
No.
out
We-
1,000 feet.
We have to do it the same for everybody.
Yes, 500 feet, period.
Consistent.
is that,
Yeah.
is that a county ordinance?
It's in the code.
That's
Yeah.
just everything with us too.
I think
knew it
it's
was
the
500
state,
feet.
actually, right?
It is the state,
Am I
yeah.
right?
It is the
Yeah,
state.
yeah.
Okay, anything else? No, I'd ask for a motion for adjournment.
Move to move.
So move to second, all in favor, say aye. Those same, motion carried. Another evening of fun and entertainment.
Yeah, the